Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, JML here, Charlie over there.
Yo.
This is Royal Rumble 1997, a look back in time, weekly verdict, chamber pod. This show has so many names. I forget the name of this show. But you know what? The fans like it. So we're going to deliver yet another episode. This time it's Royal Rumble 1997, taking place in a little town of San Antonio, Texas. Not a little town, but this was a huge event held at the Alamo Dome where San Antonio Spurs played their basketball games. Huge venue. WWF had huge aspirations for this event. Charlie, they had significant issues selling tickets for this event. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, this was still the downtime for the company, right? And they overbooked. This was a huge venue. I'm trying to get the official size of the venue. I'll eventually find it. But they basically were doing at one point like buy one get one free tickets to this Royal Rumble event. Yeah. So they thought because this was Shawn Michaels' hometown, this was an automatic sellout. It wasn't. And we'll get into, Shawn Michaels a little bit later. The main event of the show is the WWF title match between him and Psycho Sid. But for me, always the main event of a Royal Rumble, no matter what, is the Royal Rumble match or matches themselves at this point. Would you agree with that, Charlie? Like the Royal Rumble match itself, or matches now, considering they have two Rumble matches,
are the selling point? Yeah,
are the selling point. I would even go as far as saying I look forward to the Royal Rumble more than WrestleMania.
Wow.
Yeah, I get really excited about the Royal Rumble. Really excited. I think because it signifies we're on the road to WrestleMania. Usually the storylines are in full effect, or the seeds are being planted for the WrestleMania matches to come, storylines. This pay-per-view, how many Royal Rumbles have we done now? We've done 93, we've done 94, 90. We've done 95.
Did we do 95 or did we skip over 95?
We did 95. That was Bulldog and
Oh,
Michael.
Yeah, we did 95.
We did 96. Now this is 97. So we've done 4 or 5 Rumbles so far. We'll get into our final review, but I have a lot to say about this pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it kicked off. First match. And I'm going to start with a question to you, Charlie.
Okay.
Since we've been doing this show, 95 and 96 Goldust, would you consider him to be a GOAT tier level heel character? Cutting edge.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Why, towards the tail end of 1996, did they have this epiphany, a bad epiphany, an epiphany you don't want, to turn him face? For me, this didn't work at all.
Aside from him being a stepping stone for Triple H, I don't know.
It seemed like Dustin wasn't on board with this either because his in-ring work once again suffered. It seemed like he was getting out of shape again, little overweight. The match between him and Triple H, I was like, man, I haven't watched this match in a long time. I'm like, man, this is going to be a banger. Opening match, banger. I found myself on my phone for almost the entirety of the match. That's how bored I was with this match. thank God Curtis Hughes didn't continue as Triple H's. What was he supposed to be, like the Virgil, the Triple H at this point? Was that the
I have
thing they were going
no
with?
idea what they were aiming for with Curtis Hughes out there.
This was around the
Bodyguard,
time where,
manager.
if the fans remember, this was Triple H's first Intercontinental Championship run. He won the belt against Mark Marrow. Mr. Perfect, there was a screw job finish, and it was supposed to be Mr. Perfect and Triple H as a team.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect abruptly left WWF and kind of left him without a bodyguard or a manager. So he got Curtis Hughes in place of Mr. Perfect. Complete downgrade. This was not a great fit for either one. And what was funny is, I don't know if you remember this, but in '99 when Jericho first appeared in WWF, Curtis Hughes also managed him briefly.
Yep.
And that didn't last long either.
No.
So I don't know who was back there. I think it was
Curtis
maybe
Hughes,
Harvey Whippleman or Brooklyn Brawler that kept getting this guy a job. But then, like 2 or 3 months into it, he was looking for work again. He just never stuck with the company. It was very odd. Your thoughts here, Charles? This match,
it wasn't the best opening contest. The two didn't have the chemistry that they'd have in the following match at WrestleMania 13. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with Curtis Hughes either. Thank God China came in when she did.
Yes, in many ways, China breathed new life into Triple H.
Yeah.
When Triple H got China, his career went added a whole nother dimension. We'll talk about that pairing in a future episode. We'll continue. Do you have anything else to say about this? I really don't.
No.
I think this was like a disservice to the opening match spot. Like, usually there's a banger of an opening match, but nope, not here.
It's what happens when you don't put Owen Hart in the opening match.
Speaking of bangers, this match as well, not a banger, but I forgot how much I loved the original Nation of Domination theme song.
Yeah.
Dude, that song kicks ass. Like, it was so good. Ahmed Johnson. What dirt did Ahmed Johnson have on Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson, Linda McMahon, Shane McMahon, Tony Garea, whoever, to get this kind of push?
Couldn't tell you.
They had the video package where he won the Kuwait tournament, the Intercontinental title, and then the kidney injury. They tried to force this feud down our throats. These two men never gelled in the ring. Ahmed Johnson was not a great worker at all. Farouk, Ron Simmons at this time, probably a little past his prime as a solo act. He needed better dance partners in the ring. This was not the right fit for either guy. Another lackluster match for the show. What do you think? By the way, Ahmed Johnson got a decent pop at this show.
Yeah.
What did you think? Well, and I think part of that pop has to do with how hated the Nation of Domination was.
Yeah.
Like, the Nation did its job. I don't want to go into detail, of why this gimmick arose and and everything else, I'm just gonna walk the straight and narrow path. But obviously, there was a lot of reasons why they were hated that I don't agree with whatsoever. But overall, the match, the storyline, this storyline goes on for way too long. This storyline goes even past WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
This storyline really doesn't end until you get The Rock joining the Nation.
Didn't Ahmed join the Nation at one point too?
Yes, and they kicked Ahmed out. The Rock did the rock bottom to Ahmed and joined the Nation.
Yeah.
So, in many ways, that's a really good what if. What if this storyline never took place? And what if Ahmed Johnson never joined the Nation? Would The Rock have joined the Nation and been The Rock?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Because that was a big part of Rock getting over.
Also, Clarence Mason, one of the worst managers in the history of wrestling.
Oh, yeah. What was with the refs the night of WrestleMania, the night of Royal Rumble 1997?
I don't know.
They seemed to avoid disqualifications like anything. There was stair usage in this match. There was chair usage in this match. You'd think it was a no disqualification match, but it wasn't.
It seemed like around this time, Vince didn't watch any other wrestling. Someone was watching ECW and they were like, man, ECW is getting a nice following. Why don't we take some elements of ECW and put it into WWF? That's kind of what we were getting here in 97, because I think a lot of the matches had similar stylings. D'Lo Brown also was in a suit as a Nation member. Yeah. D'Lo Brown was very heavyset at this point.
I mean, he's never been...
He's very husky.
He's never been not husky.
Yeah, he slimmed down, though. He did. Not now. Now he's... actually... I'd love to Google Ahmed Johnson and show him on the screen what Ahmed looks like now.
Oh, God.
Ahmed Johnson.
But that's also due to his injuries and whatnot.
Injuries. I couldn't believe this when I saw it. I was like, hold on. The man right there.
Yep. That's Ahmed Johnson now.
That is Ahmed Johnson. I thought he was former MLB slugger Mo Vaughn. There's another picture where he looks like Professor Sherman Klump. I can't believe it. And the reason I can't believe it, this dude was in great shape at one time, and it just absolutely, fell apart. You said what, injuries or something like that? But man, the wrestling business takes a toll on people, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Speaking of, man, not only did we get 2 stinkers in a row, in my opinion, we get 3 of them in a row.
The undercard for this Rumble definitely wasn't good.
This match, on paper, if I told you The Undertaker and Vader had a match, you would go,
I completely forgot.
You completely
forgot they ever faced off in the ring one-on-one.
I completely forgot that Vader won this match clean.
Yeah.
I mean, not clean, but he won it. Paul Bearer, played a foil here.
Yeah.
The storyline was Vader at the time was managed by Cornette. wins the match, leaves with Bearer, continuing this storyline of Paul Bearer versus The Undertaker. I don't know why they kept saddling Vader with bad managers.
WWF booking of Vader, it all fell apart.
The opening of this match made me cringe. Before the bell rung, it made me cringe. Do you remember the part the beginning of the match where Vader basically gets out of the ring when the Undertaker is doing like his Undertaker stuff? Like he literally like runs out of the ring. The dude is built as the Mastodon, and he's running away like a freaking peacock or an ostrich.
Yeah.
They should have on commentary when Vader came out. It's not the Mastodon, it's the ostrich. It's the scared ostrich. They didn't work well in the ring together.
I'll be happy to watch WCW Vader after watching this horrible showcase of Vader in WWF.
Yes. Spoiler alert, we are recording this ahead of time. We do not know yet what the WCW event we are covering and if it's going to have Vader or not on it. Hopefully, you know what I'll do? I'll probably rig a poll and just do every pay-per-view that Vader is actually on. And then we have no choice but to do a Vader centric episode.
Sounds good.
Man, what could have been if this match would have taken place in 94, 95 even?
Yeah.
Would have been, I'm gonna let it fly. Tits McGee. It would have been Tits McGee.
I just remember as a child hearing so much hype behind Vader and then seeing him in WWF and being like, even at like 10, 11, 12 years old, being like, I don't get it. But
oh, man. I wonder if I can pull this up. It reminds me. This promo by Vader scarred me for life. Scarred me for life. It was a promo in WWF. Do you remember this promo? Do you have any inkling of the promo I'm talking about?
The only time Vader scared me as a child was when he took out all his anger on Gorilla Monsoon. I don't remember his words ever scaring me. I remember him being a big behemoth.
No, it scared me for the opposite reason. It scared me because I was like, man, this guy completely lost his confidence. And this is me as 12-year-old, 13-year-old JML thinking that of Vader. And if I'm thinking that of Vader, everyone else that's superior intelligence of me is also thinking it. Let me see if I can get this on screen. I'm going to play it.
Okay.
So, Charlie,
could you translate that for me? The sound was a bit off.
So he's basically crying after he lost the cane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that now. The mask versus mask no way out match.
He calls himself a piece of shit.
A big piece of
shit.
A
big fat piece of shit.
Yeah.
So a couple things here. His confidence completely shot. This has Vince Russo story writing all over this entire promo. Where,
Okay,
hey,
remember it.
Vader, you're feeling like shit. You know what? After the match, after you lose the match, why don't you just roll with it and say how you feel? And he
Yes,
literally comes out and says,
I remember it now.
I I can't believe this. The Vader that I was enamored with, absolutely enamored
Yeah,
with in 1993, 1994, 19 the must see. I would stop. I would go, "Oh, Vader's on. I got to watch it." I was infatuated with Vader.
yeah.
Little known fact, infatuated with Vader. His WWF run soiled Vader for me for so long where I couldn't even watch WCW Vader. Rest in peace, Leon White. I feel horrible,
I got to meet him.
horrible that WWF botched your run there. You could have done so much more. They should have sat you out. You were injured. They should have put you on the bench. You should have got healed up and then made your return. But that never happened. You lost your confidence. You had the bar fight with Mr. Wonderful and he kicked your ass and it was just never the same. You said you met him, Charlie?
Yeah, I got to meet him. After hearing from everyone that he's an asshole, he was actually kind in meeting him.
Yeah. And even remember he did the table for 3. I think it was him, Sting, and DDP or something like that. And he literally was so polite to Sting during that table for 3. He was like, Sting, like, Steve, you're like the best. Like, you helped put me over. All the, like, you could tell he was a kind hearted guy. He was just misunderstood. I felt bad. And you would think a win over the Undertaker would propel him to something else, but it goes downhill even more after this. And he never recovers. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Anything else you want to say about Taker and Vader?
No, I'm good.
You're good. I said it all.
It wasn't that great of a match at all.
I figured instead of talking about the match, we talk about his run a little bit more.
But honest to God, I completely forgot the two of them even squared off.
Which is a shame. It's like that would have been a main event. Can you imagine if Vader came to WWF in 94 or like 1994 SummerSlam? Instead of being Undertaker versus Undertaker, it was Undertaker versus Vader.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would have been awesome.
Would have tore the house down.
Speaking of not tearing houses down, we had could you say the political correct for the
AAA?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that. Thank God I got it right.
Why was this match on the card?
I have no idea. I asked you this off camera and off recording, and
other than the fact that there is a huge Mexicana heritage going on in San Antonio, Texas, I don't understand why this match happened. This was obviously a bridge to the Royal Rumble match itself. They didn't want to use up more people than they had to. But maybe they could have gave, I don't know, Michaels and Sid more time. This match,
I don't think Michaels and Sid needed more time. They could have given the Rumble match more time.
Yeah. It's hard to pick. Like, they gave Triple H and Goldust 17 minutes, and that was probably about 9 minutes too long.
Yeah.
I really have nothing to say about the 6. I would be honest with you. I don't even remember anything about the match.
Who was the elderly gentleman that kept running the ropes just to walk through them and jump slowly out of them?
I don't remember.
He kept missing his cues. Or he was just lost. I remember that. That's about all I remember from this match. Aside from the one guy that adjusted to WWF's way of doing this on the winning team, which I don't know the name of.
It was probably Aguero.
Yeah. Was he in the black and silver?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Okay, because he was the only one that adjusted to WWF's way of doing things.
Now again, these the names, they're legends in AAA Mexican wrestling. I get it. I get why WWF wanted it on the card. But maybe this should have been, I don't know, maybe this should have been the opening match.
This would have been as much of a stinker of an opener as Goldust and Triple H.
The attendance was announced as 60,477 people. They definitely they filled it. They filled it because they peppered tickets in there by doing buy one get one frees, radio giveaways.
Now, is this one of the events that you'd say Michaels didn't exactly carry the company as he should have as champion? Seeing as it's in his hometown and it didn't sell out without help, that's not really a succession as champion.
You see, this is what's going to get me in trouble, right? Is I think I'm getting characterized as, on the reverse side of you where, it seems like you don't like Bret Hart, but you like Bret Hart. I love Shawn Michaels. I think Shawn Michaels is one of the best wrestlers of all time. He's in the top 2 or 3 conversation, right? Mm-hmm. In your top 3 wrestlers, you can make an argument that any of them could be number 1, right? And for me, the top 3 wrestlers, and this is without bias, is in no particular order, is like Flair, Hart, and Michaels. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just us saying it, it's the peers and everyone in the business. Like you have them name who's the best wrestler of all time. Those are the names that are brought up time and time again. Shawn Michaels had a terrible reign as WWF champion. I mean, there's no way else to put it. He literally, there was nothing memorable about his reign. Granted, here he's not the champion, but this is booked so telegraphed that he's going to win the title back.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in our minds he's going to win the title back.
Hometown hero, yeah.
We'll skip over the Rumble match. I guess we'll just wrap up the Rumble match as the main event. We'll just talk about the Sid and Michaels match. As good and as even great the Survivor Series match, I did not like the Rumble match.
No.
The crowd wasn't even that hot for Shawn. I mean, they were hot for Shawn, but it wasn't like this is what happens when you have a big building and you're giving away the farm to get people into the building. You have a lot of people that don't even watch the product in the building, and they don't react because they're not fans. The crowd was dead for most of the show, and it hurt the show. And that's why it was a really bad move. The business was down. The hottest thing in professional wrestling, for better or worse, was on WCW. It was the NWO. The NWO and WCW were killing WWF in the ratings. They had more eyes on the product. very few people were watching. I mean, a lot of people were watching, but compared to WCW was getting a much bigger audience, and more people were into that show. They were not into WWF as much yet.
Yeah.
They were planting the seeds for the Attitude Era for this event. What did you think of the WWF title match, Sid and Michaels, the rematch?
Like you said, I'd just be echoing what you say. It didn't add up to their match at Madison Square Garden. It was basically just there to tell the story of the hometown hero regaining his championship after being screwed out of it.
Yep.
And that's coming from a Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah, it was like we're gonna go through the motions match. It didn't have the same fire as that Survivor Series match. And the crowd does make a match. So getting back to it, even though Shawn Michaels was in his hometown, the more intimate setting of Madison Square Garden, the dynamics of the crowd booing Shawn and cheering Sid, it really helped that match grow its following. And that's why, like, when you talk about Sid's best matches, that is clearly Sid's best match he's ever had by a country mile. This match was just very dull. It was cookie cutter. The crowd knew what was going to happen. So the crowd that was there to watch Shawn knew what was going to happen. The crowd that got in for free didn't care what was going to happen. And this is what we got for this show and this main event. And it's very unfortunate. They should have just had a smaller venue. Like, as much as people on the internet give Nick Khan shit about changing from stadiums to regular size arenas for Money in the Bank, that was a smart move. Why would he want to, like, pepper a sellout crowd and not get the same live crowd that he can in a smaller venue?
Yeah.
And that's just marketing. That's being smart, because you're putting on a live television product. This was not good. Anything else you want to say?
As for this match, no, but we still got to go over the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Jose Lothario, horrible. So every time I see Jose Lothario, horrible.
Getting his son involved was no better. It
was the worst. The worst. Yeah. Then we had the Royal Rumble match. You asked me a question when we were going through what we were going to talk about. So ask me. Go ahead, ask me the question.
Oh, right. What was the list of competitors for this Rumble? Because I saw a lot of filler in it.
The 30 participants of this 1997 Royal Rumble. We had Crush, Ahmed Johnson, Fake Razor Ramon, Phineas Godwin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bart Gunn, Jake Roberts, Bulldog, one of the luchadors, Peruth, Sultan, Mil Mascaras. Cool to see Mil Mascaras.
Yeah.
Hunter Hearst, Helmsley, Owen Hart, Goldust, Cybernetico, which was another luchador, Mark Marrow, Latin Lover, Farouk, Savio Vega, Road Dogg, Bret Hart, Jerry Lawler. It was like when they wanted to fill an event, they would get Jerry Lawler and Jake, like they were shoo-ins to appear. Jerry Lawler, Fake Diesel, Terry Funk, Rocky Maivia, Mankind, Flash Funk, Vader, Henry Godwin, and The Undertaker. That's the 30 competitors. Not the worst list of competitors we've ever seen in a Rumble. I think we've seen worse. However, just some terrible gimmicks in the Rumble. I think that's the thing that sticks out. Like Jesse James as the country singer gimmick.
The real Double J, yeah.
Terry Funk was cool to see because Terry Funk was from Texas. He kind of made his WWF re-debut here at this event, which was cool. Obviously, you have Lucha Libre superstars, the AAA workers in the event. Fine. You have to fill the Rumble. The Sultan was a terrible gimmick. We'll talk more about that. The Godwins, fake Razor, fake Diesel. I mean, you had a lot of Flash Funk.
I'm going to get points taken off my pro wrestling trivia card for this one, but who was the Sultan again?
It was Rikishi.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, it was Rikishi.
Okay, good.
Walk me through this Rumble match, Charlie.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Okay. It was basically just the tale of building up Austin as well as they possibly could. No one really came in and stood much time aside from Austin and the others involved in the Final Four. Yeah. You had your fillers that were thrown out fairly quick, and it came down to just showcasing Austin for Austin.
So what was unique about this Rumble?
What was unique about it?
Yeah, what was unique about the finish?
The last four that were in the match.
Well, it was unique because Austin technically got thrown out.
Got thrown out by Brett.
Got thrown out by Brett. Comes back in, throws Brett out, wins the Rumble, which leads to the controversy of, you know, who's supposed to be the number one contender. So they do a Final Four event with Vader, Taker, Brett, and Austin, which ends up being for the title. We'll get more into that, I guess, with our WrestleMania 13 episode. They built Stone Cold this night again, like King of the Ring winner, right? The return match for Brett. Him and Brett have an awesome rivalry at this point. Wins the Rumble in a weird way. I don't agree with this whole finish with the Rumble, but technically wins the Rumble. What a rise in, you know, the last 8 or 9 months for Austin once he got rid of the Ringmaster gimmick and DiBiase. Like, he lit the world on fire. And it's only gonna get better for him from here on out. That's for sure. Usually at this time, we do a recap of the Rumble, the pay-per-view. Would you put this as a lower tier, a mid tier, or a top tier?
Lower tier.
I agree. This was one of the worst Royal Rumbles of all time, if not the worst. This is the worst, actually, of the 4 or 5 episodes we've done of Royal Rumble matches or Royal Rumble events and matches.
Yes,
in general. Austin eliminated 10 people.
Nice.
That was great. But other than that, I don't remember. Like, it's not a member. Like, you have to go back and watch it, and it's hard to go back and actually watch the show.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of filler. The characters haven't hit their stride yet. Like, you have the Rock is Rocky Maivia. You have the Blue Blood Triple H without China. You have Stone Cold as, you know, a heel. You have Brett as a face. Like, things get really, really good after this.
I'd say the only Attitude Era-esque wrestler that really found his footing at this time, agree to disagree, Mankind.
No, he'd be up there for sure. And I don't think Taker ever lost his footing. I think
No, I mean, out of like say Mankind, Triple H,
Austin,
Rock, Austin was getting there definitely.
Yeah.
The second he was deemed Stone Cold in Austin 316 and all that, he was there. But
yeah,
Mankind was there since he debuted as Mankind.
yeah.
He lived that character.
If you guys go back and watch this pay-per-view, think about the things that we said about the crowd. This crowd could have helped the show. This crowd hurt the show.
Yeah.
Not a good show. One of the worst Royal Rumbles of all time. It's unfortunate because the final four participants, they're all-time greats.
Yeah.
All-time greats. We dunked on Vader, but that dude was a great athlete, no matter what. And his run in WCW was tremendous. So this is the time where we're going to sign off. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We appreciate it. Check out our community board for more polls for what you want to see. We'll have another poll up for the next WCW pay-per-view. I think we're going to go on a WCW train for a couple episodes. Try that out. It should be fun. We're over 525 subscribers. Love you guys. Thank you so much. What are you looking at?
What?
You're like looking down. It was like,
I watch.
It's clobbering time.
It is
what you're
clobbering
doing.
time.
Thank you so much. Love you guys. Good night and good luck. Farewell. Toodaloo.